I am alive.
Welcome everybody to
Yes.
Love Speaks Love. We are doing another dragon special with my two guests, Alessandra Gilioli and Kev Humphrey, also known as English Mystic. Um, just bear with us a second or two while we share the video, or more than a second or two. So we are going to be talking about dragon, and we're also going to be talking about the Dragon Thunder Summit, which is taking place this weekend. Right. If anyone who's watching wishes to share this to any groups that you think might be open to it, feel free, or to your page. That's always helpful. Thank you.
Shared it.
And also, just to mention that today is the 7th of July. So today is a 7/7 gateway. And so we're going to start by doing a little heart-to-heart connect and something, I think something just short at the beginning, but then before 7, we're going to go in and do a little bit more of a process with everybody related to this 7/7 gateway. Anything you want to say before we just do heart-to-heart connect? All right, so I'll start with this and I'll hand it over to you two if there's anything that you two wish to share. Thank you. So welcome everybody, whether you are with us live or on the replay. And let us all just bring our awareness to our heart space in the center of our chest. And let us breathe love into our beautiful heart. Feeling all of our hearts beating as one in the unified field of love. And let us extend our heart awareness out to the heart of Gaia, Mother Earth. Feeling our energies weaving down through the earth to the heart of Gaia, the crystalline heart of Gaia, connecting in with the new earth templates of light, connecting in with the dragon templates of light, and feeling Mother Earth's energy moving into our bodies, into our hearts, into every cell of our bodies, and feeling her love, her appreciation, and her gratitude for all of us. And let us extend our heart awareness out to the heart of the sun, the solar heart, feeling gratitude in our hearts for the light and the life that we receive from the earth and from the sun, and gratitude for all the solar codes that we are currently receiving. And let us extend our heart awareness out to the cosmic heart, the heart of Source Creator, and feeling those cosmic energies moving into our bodies, into our spinal column of light. So the earth energies, the sun energies, and the cosmic energies are all weaving together in our column of light and moving into every cell of our bodies, moving into our meridians, our energy centers. And feeling the presence of the dragons, feeling their excitement for this call, for the Dragon Summit this weekend. And intending that our heart is open to receive any frequencies, any codes that our body is ready to receive. And I will hand over to either Kevin or Alessandra if either of you have anything that you wish to add at this point.
I'm seeing concentrical circles. When you mentioned connecting to the heart of the sun, I saw it as an activating hula hoop around us and the earth. And then I saw other concentrical circles of all the different dragon clans that are coming. So I felt a lot of excitement from us and from them.
Beautiful. I tapped into the 7 and the 7/7 and the 7/7/7 as we're coming up to 7 p.m. in the UK, and so I just tapped into the dragons, and there's lots of talk about a 7/7/7 portal, isn't there? So they just said to me, say this: by the power of 7, I summon wisdom, truth, and divine insight. By the power of 7/7, I align with all the dragons of all the realms, of all the realities. By the power of 7/7/7, I open the gates to soul mastery for all of us. And dragons of the flame, we are listening.
Beautiful, thank you both. So if your eyes are closed, just opening them whenever you're ready. And just bringing your awareness back to your heart space, and let us feel our awareness and presence in our heart space for today, for the call, for however long you wish to. Okay. So just feeling into 7, is there anything, to me 7 is about balancing masculine and feminine energies, the 4 and the 3 together making the 7. And this day has often been a strong energy day for me. Is there anything that's rising about the 7 particularly for either of you?
Yeah, I tapped into it earlier, and just it's not a day I normally celebrate. It's normally the 8/8's more powerful to me because the affinity sign's more powerful. So I tapped into it again, just connected to the dragons, and they were saying it's about inner wisdom, spiritual awakening, divine intuition, the path between the worlds, and a time for sacred contemplation. And I was like, oh, powerful. What else did they say? There's the power of the 7, and there's the power of the 7/7, and there's the power of the 7/7/7, and the 7/7/7. They were saying for them that's the wisdom of dragons, of the star dragons, and of the truth of dragons. Those three, and like almost like a triangle from the 7s. I'm just basically saying it's is a powerful gateway, like all of them are. Yeah, so they said if you wanted to tap into the power of the dragons in this time, then if you can, light 3 candles, so a gold, a blue, and a white one, which is interesting, and then just call them in. Maybe call the celestial dragons, or the rainbow dragons, or the cloud dragons, or the dragons of the rune, or the healer dragons, or whatever dragons it is that you want to connect to, and then see if there's some wisdom, truth, or divine insight that's available at this time for you, and it's for your soul. It's all about saying about soul mastery. So I thought it was quite powerful.
I feel the same thing that you're saying. Were you done or did you have more, Kevin?
Continue. I've done.
So you mentioned gold, blue, and white, which is funny because this image behind me, I feel, has gold, blue, and white. It's got other things, but it has that, so it's mirroring it. So I resonate in a different way. It's coming through a different way. And then I got a zing when you said 777, and a zing when you said star dragons and the truth of dragons. And so that's a feeling. Those weren't the words that I had, but they're complementary, and it's almost making me feel like an affirmation of, and that's what I think I'm bringing through, part of it for the summit. And hopefully today there's a taste of that, but it's the truth and star dragons and the gateway. So I have a little or a big stone gateway. And where is the stone gateway? Is it on Aldebaran? Is it on Earth? Is it on the Scottish Isles? But there was something about the truth, the truth. The dragons want the truth. They want to really show us truth about us and truth about them. So I think maybe we're going to get surprised and excited today and then at the summit, which is Sunday, right? But in Australia, it's what time?
It's Sunday for everyone, but
Oh,
it's 8:30 in Australia, which of course for all of us they're in the future. So if you're in Canada or the USA, it's actually the Saturday afternoon, evening. For the rest of us in Europe, it's why we're probably getting our beauty sleep. But yeah, it starts in Australia, goes for 10 speakers, then it moves to Europe, goes for 10 speakers, and these beautiful ladies are speakers for that part of it, and then goes to USA, Americas, Canada, it's Pacific time, and then that again goes for 10 speakers. So you get to see 30 live speakers, and then there's 6 spattered throughout that are pre-records, which are there. And anyone that signs up will get the links so they can pick and choose who they want to see. If somebody's brave enough to sit through the whole lot, amazing.
I have heard that people have it on in the background, and so they're doing their daily things maybe at home, and so they have the 24 hours or plus of being immersed in the summit.
Beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, I watched a lot of it last year, not the whole lot, but a fair chunk in my garden last year.
It's a good place to do it. It's good to be grounded, because there's energy that's powerful. Just sitting with one person sharing and channeling dragons is powerful, but if you sit through the whole lot, then you definitely want to ground yourself. You'll end up in some other supernova planet somewhere miles away. I did last time. Luckily, one of the speakers put a big grounding cord, and I sort of pulled myself back, because I get to listen to all the recordings and edit them and share them afterwards. So I get a double whammy of it, and it's powerful. And you've got some people sharing the one perspective all the way. You've got all the perspectives of people that are working with one particular dragon, through to people that are the dragon lords and working with millions of dragons. So yeah, if you come along, you're someone will say something that means more to you, and other people you may won't resonate with you. That's why we've got so many 36 speakers. One of them you'll go, Alessandra's the one I want to speak to in future. She's got it. That fairy goddess from Italy, that's the one. Yeah. Or maybe they go, no, I like Denise. I like the fact that she's in Yorkshire and blah blah blah. Who knows? Or maybe you're like someone from America or wherever it is, or someone from Sweden, because people are from across the world, which is beautiful.
And what inspired you to create this summit? And while you answer, I'm just going to get some water, but I will be within earshot.
Inspired? Well, how was I inspired? By the dragons, basically. A dragon landed in my life. How many years ago is that? 11 years ago. Was it 11 years ago? No, I don't remember doing maths. 8 years ago. The dragon landed in my life while I was out riding the horse I'm human to. And like most people that first meet a dragon, you're a bit like, I've lost the plot. can't be right. And then you start finding all those other people that have lost the plot, and then you realize you haven't lost the plot, and actually you've opened a frequency that's powerful, and there's these beings that don't want to steal the maidens and burn the villages. They're actually extremely powerful power animals, if you want to call it that. So you have to forget about the dragons that are on the telly. Though the films recently, they've been more powerful, more assisting the dragons, haven't they? They're still being under control by humans. That's not the way it is. If one comes to you, then it's a partnership. Yeah, they're not better than you, you're not better than them. It's just the fact that they are more ethereal and we're more solid, and the partnership helps each other. But what inspired me was I was sitting with my three main dragons that I called together in my shamanic temple, Agatha, Sophia, and Georgie, and they were like, "We want you to do something. The dragon councils have told us." I was like, "Well, what's that?" They're like, you need to start a summit, a dragon summit." I was like, "Oh, okay. What does that entail?" "We want you to pull all the disparate, all the separate people that are all talking about dragons, pull them together, get them to start talking with each other, get them to start collaborating, get them to start making it obvious that dragons are here and powerful beings, spirit beings, not terrible beasts. We don't hoard gold, and we're not after killing people. We're here to assist you, and we're here to raise the frequency of humanity, and blah blah blah. We want you to pull them together." So I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I only know like two or three people." So I asked those, and they knew two or three people. And the first year we had a small number, and last year a bigger number, and then this year we're truly global, because we're starting in Australia. So you've got beautiful people that are hosting that part of it. Then it's coming to the UK. I'm one of the hosts, and I've got a co-host, and it goes to America, and we've got two beautiful hosts there. And I say 10 per area. So yeah,
Your first summit, you had few people, but you had Diana Cooper.
Well, I spoke to Diana Cooper and said, "Would you come on the summit?" And she's like, "Well, I'm really busy, but I will record something." So she tapped into her cards and all the rest of it, which was powerful. Yeah, so lots of powerful people coming out. I mean, over the 3 years it's been running, I've met so many amazing beings and people. I mean, for example, I didn't know you two, and now we've got the Yorkshire and the Italian goddess. So how lucky am I?
It feels like you are a collector of the full set, because it feels like the dragons with you and through you are enjoying bringing everything dragon. And so you've drawn, the dragons have drawn to you all these different people doing dragons in so many different ways. And even the work that you do with the 20, 30 books that you have, 5, 6 oracle card decks or more, I don't know all the numbers, you are really a resource. So it's like you're a record keeper. You and your dragons are a library of the wisdom, holding it all together.
Yeah, it's a bit like, yeah, I suppose that's it. An ambassador. That was one of the words they said. We want you to be an ambassador for the dragons, and you need to be egoless. You need to not be judging. We will send you the speakers, and any speaker that comes forward and wants to talk about dragons, I'm not gonna. People go, "Oh, am I allowed to say this? Can I say?" You say whatever you like. I'm just here to hold the space for you. You're the one sharing it. You might speak to one person that's listening, and that's that one person that needs to hear that message. You might speak to 1,000 people, and everyone resonates with different people. And that's why I always say through it, if someone doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. Don't get negative about it. Just say, "Doesn't resonate with me. I resonate with that person, what they're saying about it, and the fact that fairies can ride dragons. Oh, I love that idea. I'm not into that other bit where they're doing this and that." It's fine. I mean, it's opened my mind for dragons. In the beginning, it was very small, my knowledge, and as you say, the more and more people coming, and the more open I am. And I even said to the dragons, "We've got everyone like this from America and Europe, and can't we have someone else?" And then Miko arrived from Japan. I'm like, "Yes, we've got a different perspective. We've got the East and the West perspective." And the East have always loved dragons. They've always been powerful beings that have protected temples, and they're a force for the good. And I believe that dragons were always a force for the good, and a bit like the witches and many things like that. our society in sort of Americas and Europe has pushed it towards the sort of less friendly, and actually the truth has always been more like they have in Japan and China. I always felt that they're beings that are powerful beings, a bit like the way we see lions and that and unicorns. Really, we need to put dragons into that same group, powerful beings looking after us.
Agreed. Now, I'm mindful of the time. Alessandra, is there anything you wanted to add of your experiences of dragons before we start with our 777 gateway?
I think, Kevin, you mentioned that 8 years ago you met a dragon and it was like, duh! And that was my experience too. I was in Japan, I was in a temple. The temple had a big Buddha statue, but it seemed out of place because if I looked up and everywhere, the older part of the temple had dragons everywhere. So it's almost like I spoke to the dragon and said, "Hey, how you doing? Have you been ignored?" Like I would speak to a cat or a dog or anything. And it jumped out of the ceiling almost in with my eyes open. So it was very physical. And it roared at me. Its face was huge. And I was like, okay. Well, yeah, I'll let you be. And I didn't know what I was doing because I'm used to fluffy star beings that are in the ninth dimension and other things. So I was like, I don't know if that's good or bad. So I sat little, meekly in the corner of the temple, and the dragon was still roaring at me. And it was neutral, but I was a bit scared, and it was very animal energy, wild animal. So it took me a long time to process, but I promised that dragon that I would go back. And so a year later, I came back with an Argentinian healer and my mother, and we did a light language freeing ceremony so that it could shoot to the sea that was nearby. And so that was my first dragon.
Beautiful.
Now, we are 5 minutes before 7. I feel it's time to start, so we're just up and running at 7. I'm feeling to hand over to you, Alessandra, to start.
Okay. Right now or 5 minutes?
I think maybe we start now and then we're in full flow at 7. Does that feel?
Yep, sounds good. So there is a feeling of a lot of excitement from all these different kinds of dragons, and Kevin as the ambassador and the gatekeeper. Behind me, I happen to have a portal, and what Denise is doing is always a portal. So there is a revving up. We're doing also all of this because the real big ta-da is Saturday, Sunday with the Dragon Thunder Summit. But something is happening now, but also preliminary, playing with time. And I feel 777 at this moment is, to me, what I'm feeling is everything all together, all the resources. There is a feeling of the paradox of all is one, all is valuable, but in the enjoyment of my fingers are representing all the different colors, all the different brands, all the different clans, all the different kinds of dragons coming together. So the variety all having a place and a role, just like all the different people that are on the Dragon Summit that are being called by the dragons and by Kevin, but it's all one. So everybody gets to be important and special. We're all important and special. But I'm also feeling a transmission coming in so that these powerful torrents of energy that are coming in through these different colors, because I'm feeling that there are different colors for us. Kevin, you had mentioned the gold, the blue, and the white. The colors are speaking to us, and that is something to play with in an abstract way. So I'm going to be playing some sounds with my crystal bowls, and they have colors on them, sprayed with platinum or silver to have this rainbow sheen, but something about colors refracting in our eyes from the solar flares, reflected from crystals, from the earth, from the lakes that we have around us. And so the dragons are being present in different ways. So the key words that I have are our eyes, going directly to our brain, and then our spinal column. So let's see what the sound transmission has for us. Fairy dragons, dragons of mushrooms, dragons of little tiny cells, micro dragons. Dragons of the rainbow. When the dragons of the rainbow speak, they're saying, stretch your perceptual vision, and you can do that with your third eye. They're playing with the idea of the traditional concept of 7 chakras and saying, what about 7 times 7? This sound is to tickle down our spinal column and say, are you a dragon? Do you remember being dragon? Do you want to be dragon? Do you want to play dragon? The dragons want to honor all legends at all times, whether positive or negative. They're saying, all publicity is good publicity. We're learning from you humans. Ha ha ha. You talk about us in a positive, negative way. We are consciously in your collective consciousness, and we will take that and play with that. Do pay attention about the connection between the maiden and the dragon. There is a lot of love there. There's a lot of intimacy there. There's a lot of connection between dragon and fairies, dragon and mermaids, dragon and water, dragon and human. We're drawing to the conclusion of this portion, but the last question is, do you see, sense, feel colors around you? Do you have one set of dragon wings, or do you have several as you are shape-shifting through your multidimensional life where you are limitless? We are limitless. And so, for example, I have dragonfly wings, but then I have butterfly wings, and then I have bat wings. And so they're almost all different parts of different talents that I have, or parts of my multidimensional self. So these are fairy dragons that came through right now, but they're connected to other dragons because dragons channel. And that's it from us to you. Big kisses from the dragons.
it's beautiful. It's funny because I tapped into the dragons and said, is there like a glimpse of channeling for the 777? Because for me, I channel by writing, but they gave me some words, and the first thing they said is, we are the tripled winged ones. And you were just talking about many wings, and I was like, I've never heard this tripled wing thing before. And it just made sense when you were saying you got the dragon wings and your fairy wings, and maybe the wings of whatever, who knows? Maybe it's a unicorn, maybe it's Pegasus, who knows? So yeah, so they said we are the tripled winged ones. And it said we come in threes and in sevens and in starbursts. In other words, they're everywhere, in everything. And you can find them wherever you want to. You don't, they keep coming to me and saying, we keep overcomplicating how we request the dragons to come in. You can just sit under a tree, you can just ask them to come in, you can ask them to come into your dreams. We don't have to make huge big rituals. They like it when we do big huge rituals because it's sort of, they're like, oh, look at those humans honouring us. But you can just call them in. You can just say, I'm going on a journey, please protect me. And that's what I feel they're saying, because they're saying that at the moment the 777 is our agreement with the divine, and dragons and all the other beings are divine. And they're saying, remember to awaken and remember to lead. There's many people out there that when they first meet a dragon, they hide. They're like, oh, I've gone mad. And then they slowly wake up bit by bit. And if you've got a dragon in your life, it's saying to you, awaken and lead. Don't be shy. Don't use the courage of the dragon to spread the word, whatever it is, the word that they want you to share, and lead a more courageous life. We all know there's lots of stuff going on in the world at the moment, but the dragons are here to save us, to protect us, to assist us, to awaken us, and to help us lead. And they said, let the codes of the starlight that's coming in from above and all around be etched into our hearts. And they said, go out and speak to the world with that courage, with that conviction. Each and every single one of us has got a message, whether it's small or big or medium, whatever it is. Just share it. Even if you share it with one person, even if you convince that one person. I mean, during the Dragon Summits in the past, a friend of mine who's an accountant that's very sensible, listened to one of the beautiful speakers channeling, and he could not believe how beautiful the words were that came through. It's like, that's not a script. I said, no, that's channeling. That's come direct from source, from the dragon source, from the Dragon Council, wherever it is. And each and every one of us is special enough to receive that. And that's what the dragons keep saying. Yeah, there's some of us are brave enough to come on and start talking about it, but each and every one of you is just as special as anyone that's a speaker. You don't have to be the person that's out in the world. Maybe you're working on your own and you're going into the forest and you're sending healing into the trees or the land. Maybe you're sending healing to the walls, whatever it is. You don't have to be out in the world talking and sharing about it. The main thing is to make sure you connect truly, fully to that divine energy and use it and channel it, even if it's just for you. So that's the message that came through for me.
Beautiful, thank you. And I'm going to pick up on you mentioning the heart. And what I was shown, as soon as I closed my eyes at the beginning of this, I was shown a stargate, and I can still see this stargate. And there's lots of symbology or symbols or sigils around the stargate. And the energy feels very much that silver blue, silver green kind of energy. And I'm seeing lots of dragons pouring through this stargate, and lots of energy pouring through, and light codes. And it feels like it's linked to different celestial aspects. I'm feeling Sirius and Andromeda, but it also feels like it's connecting to Lemuria. And I've been doing a lot of work with Lemurian energies recently, and it feels like there's a Lemurian template in the Earth's field. And that template feels like it's rising and it's being interwoven with this seeding that's coming through this stargate. And it feels like it's not only activating the Lemurian template, but it's also kind of creating a new crystalline template along, kind of want to say alongside it, but they're kind of together. They're like fractals, they're separate, but they're together. And the waters as well. I think, Alessandra, I think you mentioned the waters. And the waters feel really key in this too. So the waters in our bodies, the waters in the planetary body. It feels like there's kind of an upgrade. It doesn't feel quite the right word, but there's something going on with the waters of the planet. And something to do with the structure of the water and the crystalline structure of the water. And I invite us to feel into our hearts and the waters of our body and the fascia of the body. And connecting in with the mycelium network beneath us in the ground. And also seeing that connection as if there's a similar network to the mycelium, but it's in the ethers. And each of those is represented within each cell of our bodies. And I'm feeling some light language is wanting to come through. I'm just going to say, change my sound setting. There may be some background noise comes through. Oren tai hier du und o lepa it arana kud o ist. Mai il it arana kiele kiat a. Kud et arant ai ikil ist. Ulete hier la it aran toko und oi. Mai it arana kud po I o ut oi ist it arant kud und to. And I'm seeing a huge dragon of those colours that I mentioned before, that silvery blue, silvery green. And she's like planet sized, she's huge. And it feels like she's holding the earth. And I'm seeing energy going from the dragon heart to the earth heart. And there's this beautiful figure of 8 energy between the hearts. And we're invited to open our hearts to this, if we feel to do so, and then just aware of that figure of 8 energy from the heart of the earth and from the heart of this mother dragon. And it's doing something to the crystals of the earth as well. I'm seeing them kind of getting more sparkly and filling up with more light codes too. I at od orentai ik dundoi it aranakulikia. Me id pa at und od at aradki isht at aranaku ut und alakia. Well, he in a hat od und wilekia ma at aradaku und. Well, here at a hielek und we da. And I'm feeling the rose energy coming in now too. And I'm seeing the earth enveloped in a huge rose. And the rose to me is a frequency, and the rose flower is an emanation of that frequency. And I'm seeing, if we're open to this, that that same rose is awakening in our hearts. So just taking a few long and slow deep breaths, if you can, breathing in through your nose, breathing into your diaphragm. And I feel my section here is complete. So handing back to you, Alessandra.
I was seeing a multi-dimensional plasmatic crystal rose, liquid crystal rose, luminescent, translucent. And this crystal bowl is attuned to the higher heart, the galactic heart, and a lot of these higher frequency dragons that are coming in now. Flying above and connecting to our higher self. I'm seeing all those wings, the triple wings. Also seeing that there might be some beetles or other type of very cool insects that might have 3 sets of wings. So there's this playing with the multidimensionality of the fairy dragons. Very light, very high frequency that we get to be and play with and connect with. So as I wind down my portion here too, there was one little gift or blessing from the dragons, and they say, what kind of wings do you have? Are they different from your usual wings? Are they elemental, like insect or fairy, but still dragon? Rainbow? Are there specific colors that grab your eye? And also almost like neon, fluorescent colors, metallic colors that are actually seen in nature, like the bioluminescence in mushrooms and in other living organisms in nature. So there is this complete play with light. Also inside of ourselves and our mitochondria, microcosm and macrocosm. And I'll pass it over to Kevin.
Beautiful. As you were both speaking, I just could see that web was like a big spider web that was surrounding the planet. So we've got the ley lines, and then we've got these different layers that are being controlled by different beings. And I almost feel that each individual person is like a small part of that huge web. And if each of us connects to our many dragon friends, and they then connect to other people, and they connect to the other dragons, and we spread it throughout the world, we create a beautiful frequency that raises both our frequency, humanity's, and the planet's. And I think it's a symbiotic experience that's happening from the planet through us, through all the magical beings, out to whoever else that's assisting us. It's a powerful time. Yeah, I think the summit's going to assist in that, raising that frequency with 36 people connecting and spreading the energy.
There's a message that I wanted to give, or that's coming through. And as I'm seeing what you're saying, Kevin, and that's exactly what I was seeing as you're saying it, and I was seeing it as Denise is saying it. So there's something that's very exciting. A lot of us so many people are saying that they have a white dragon or a pearlescent dragon. And I feel that this pearlescent dragon, which is connected to then the Sophia dragon of all, the one creatrix, I feel that she's connected to our body and our fascia and our cells and the mitochondria and the mycelium, because I see it as, I think if we see images of fascia, it looks sparkly, silverly, liquid crystal, almost like a crystalline spider web. And I'm seeing that. And what's happening now, and this might be how I might be an ambassador for a certain frequency that's coming in uh, for the summit. So a lot of us have been working and connecting with our white mother dragon, who's not just white, but she's white and pearlescent. And it has something to do with priestesses and priests and mystics. But something is coming in like these colors here, and it's coming in this gateway and the stellar dragons, and they're coming in because of the work that we're doing with this grid work, and it's these rainbow iridescent dragons, and they're enhancing our work. So it's almost like saying the baseline is the whiteness of our fascia, the whiteness of maybe the membrane, the plasmatic membrane, because I keep seeing as white or silver, but now we're being infused with rainbow colors because we are upgrading. And I think it was you, Kevin, or Denise, is saying, upgrading isn't the right word because everything we've been so far is perfect. It's just that we're continuing, or maybe the word is growing. So there's something that your summit is doing, or our summit that's doing, that is really connecting and amplifying and bringing in and weaving. Now I'm getting very excited because I'm feeling more messages. I'm like, oh, we're reweaving the dimensions together, because I am a fairy and I could be many other things. I'm also a crystal, but I have visions. And I'm going to talk about this in my free gift for people who sign up. I talk about the Swan Maiden Dragon, and the Swan Maiden story is the woman that then has a curse. But is it a curse, or in the original version, she was a shapeshifter? She was a priestess that then also became a swan. Well, there's some version of a priestess or a priest or masculine knight that becomes also a dragon, and then they merge, and then you have the story of the virgins that were being eaten by the dragons. That's a distorted view. What if they were a mated pair? And so you have this priestess of virginal energy, which means pure energy, which also meant being sovereign in your sexuality, very, very clean and clear in your sexuality. So you have a fairy priestess energy being intimately linked with dragon energy, and you start talking about merging dimensions together. So I think that this summit is amplifying and doing something, which I think it was what you were just bringing in, Denise, this weaving of these different, I see it as lace, different lace, geometric lace coming together. It's very exciting and it's sexy. The end.
Thank you. So I'm just checking in if there's anything more. First, I do want to say a big thank you to all of the dragon energies that have been with us and all of the beings of light. And thank you to that Stargate. And thank you to the two of you, to Alessandra and Kevin, and to everyone listening as well, who has been receiving the codes being shared here and also anchoring into the earth. And I'm being shown lilies. I wasn't being shown water lilies to start with, but I'm being shown water lilies as well. And there's something about the lily in the pond grows up from the depths, from all the murky layers, and grows up out of the murky layers into the beautiful sacred geometry of the flower of the lily. and lotus. I'm being shown lilies and lotus. And I feel that what I've shared here is it's a little nugget of what's going to be shared on Sunday. I haven't fully been given the whole thing yet, but I feel that that is a little nugget from what I will be sharing on Sunday. And I was definitely feeling the rose energy, but recently the Lemurian energy has been dropping in more so. Excuse me, a little bit of throat energy center clearing going on there as well. And I'm having said that, I'm being shown the energy from our hearts really weaving up to our crown. It feels like there's a new channel of energy that's radiating out from the heart, and it's going up to the crown, down to the base, but also out to the sides, and it's radiating out in all directions. And I'm seeing that color that we've been talking about, that silvery blue, silvery green, and white, mixed in with gold.
Denise, I have a question for you. A long time ago, I don't know, 7, 10 years ago, a long time ago, I had this download, and it was interesting because I wasn't really into dragons, but it came in. At first, I was channeling Goddess Isis for a group regularly. Then I started channeling Lady Venus. And then this Venus dragon came in. And the Venus dragon showed me two things. At first, she came in as a pink lily. She came in as a pink lily temple. And then at some point, and this was more recently, like a few months ago, she popped in as a white lily temple dragon. So do you have anything to say to that, or are you like, come to my event and then you'll know more? Like, I just can you give us a little sneak peek?
Yeah, that's interesting. And I wasn't sure, like when I was because it was definitely a lily that I saw first, like the ones that you get in bunches of flowers. And then and then I was feeling into it, and the lotus came towards the end, and I was thinking, am I getting my lilies and my lotuses mixed up? Should I have said lotus all along? But it was definitely both of them. So that's really interesting that you picked up on that a long time ago. And I've done work with the lotus and the rose before, but the lily coming in feels new to me. And it's almost like a trumpet, the lily. It's almost like like a loudspeaker kind of thing, like the shape of it. So it feels, and that's interesting that I picked up on the throat too. But yeah, this is all kind of just dropping in the here and now. So I don't think I have more than that to share, but that's interesting that you picked up on that a while ago. And Venus as well. I'm not surprised that you mentioned Venus in that. And I'm glad you brought Venus in, because now you've said that, I'm like, well, yeah, of course, Venus energy is here with us today as we're doing this.
I think when you mention the trumpet, it feels what you're bringing in, and hopefully what we're all bringing in, but I'm focusing on you and what you're saying. New. Da, 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 heralds of new energies. And that's why it's feeling new to you, and it's downloads, new downloads, yeah, upgrades. Those are the words we have: sacred, new, or a ancient frequency that's coming back, but for these times, and so it's new. Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you.
And there's something about the purity of Lemuria as well, and bringing back that purity and that real connection to the earth and to the elements, and that telepathic connection, and that recognition of all the beings, the trees and the waters as beings, and of course the earth herself too. Kev, anything you have to add?
Roses. There's a lady that's going to be sharing, Sandy Humby, that talks about rose dragons. And I've got her cards. I was just looking at them up there. So yeah, it's there's so many connections. You after the summit's done, you'll be able to see the little connections. So there's, you go from here to here to here, and beforehand it doesn't make any sense, but afterwards it always does. And there's a story in the middle of it that makes sense to all of us by the time we've seen who appears. And like when we get together, we've all got a little bit of the story, but we've all seen it slightly differently. But when we talk about it, it sort of resonates as a single thing, even though we're all seeing it differently, because we all see things differently. Some of us are audible, some of us are visual, etc., etc. So yeah, I think you're right. There's a powerful movement happening. You two are part of it. You're the cornerstones here, and there's many others there that are making up the rest of the building, let's say. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's our third year, so it's getting better and better and better, and the dragons are finding it easier to come in and talk to the people that are there, which is beautiful. And we all get what we need, don't we?
I got a cheeky message from the fairies. So let's start by saying, so for one of the summits, you have a whole book. You have a whole book that basically has the summit in a book, right?
Yeah.
Was that for summit 1 or for summit 2?
1.
Summit 1. All right. Listen to the message from the fairies. Don't laugh. It's not from me. It's from the fairies. They're saying, make an oracle card deck of summit number 3.
Cheeky fairies.
They're being cheeky, and they're having either images of the speaker or the dragon they're associated with, and you're good with the summarizing or a spell, not a spell, but you have the poetry or something, because I'm seeing it really clearly, and it's not really me, it's the fairies. They're like, ha 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 ha.
Send them over. Send them over. Tell them to sit
just-
on my shoulder and tell me what to do.
They're playing with you, and I can see it fully formed. I'm like, this is nuts. And they're like, yeah, but Kevin's nuts. We love Kevin. So I have passed on the message, and I'll be the first one to buy it if you do it, because I mean, they're like dancing and they're like, yeah, give him the message. Even if he doesn't do it, he'll do something else. But we love Kevin. He's nuts.
Message received. Thank you, fairies.
And the lady that you mentioned, I think either I follow on from her in the order, or she follows on from me. I think maybe I'm the one before her. And when we first spoke about the summit, and when I was first feeling into what I would offer, I was doing a lot of work with the rose dragons as well at that time. So I'd assumed it was going to be the rose dragons, but I feel like that's an aspect of it, but not the whole thing. I think there's more.
Yeah, I think you're after Kieran Morgan, then Denise, then Sandy. Yeah, so you'll pass the baton to her.
Yeah.
You'll have a chance to have a little chit chat.
Good.
And connect, which is what it's all about. It's about connecting the speakers so that they can go, oh, we both talk about roses, let's get together, and there's collaborations popping up all over the place, which is what the dragons wanted in the first place, to connect all of us so that we don't feel like we're sitting over here going, dragons. Now we're all going, dragons. All of us, all over the place. I mean, I think there must be 50 speakers now that I've had the absolute pleasure to chat with on Dragon Talks and on Dragon Thunder. So there's a lot out there. So anyone that's like going, oh, I'm not sure about dragons, there's loads of people talking about it. Maybe we're all complete nutters, but so what? We're all talking about dragons and fairies. So what? It's a club in some ways. Everyone's invited.
And I just want to mention that Alessandra and I have been collaborating for quite a while. And we actually met in person a couple of weeks ago while I was in the midst of my house move and surrounded by boxes. This place was an absolute dip. It was 2 days before I finished my move, so it was brief, and I was like slightly distracted because I just had so much to do, but it was really awesome after all this time to connect in person. So yeah, Kev, we need to do that as well one day soon. And the three of us,
Ooh,
maybe.
watch out, world.
Yeah. Okay, so is there anything else that you want to share? Anything else that's either coming up for you now, or anything that you are working with at the moment, that any gatherings that you've got coming up that you want to mention?
Well, I have the fairies and the dragons that are having me open up into the sacred sensual waters. And I'm doing a one-on-one retreat with a longtime customer friend of mine coming in from America to come to Italy to be of service to the Italian divine feminine. And so there is this sacred sensual energy coming in with dragon flow at different temples that are related to the nymphs. And it's funny that we have the term nymphomaniac, which means a woman that likes a lot of sex. But that is a misinterpretation, again, of the freedom and the love and the sacredness of the priestesses that did all sorts of things, including priests, in maybe the times of Lemuria with water and sensuality, and also talking about the idea of energy, sensuality, no touch, but just all of this. So I am finally, after many years of having done this type of work, only, what do you call it, when it's asking on demand. Now it's happening here in Rome. So that's just something to be aware of, but just as a concept also. And then there's a retreat I'm doing in Rome with water priestesses and priests that's coming up. And then there's mentorships. I'm doing one-on-one mentorships. So there's a lot of us that are on a journey, and a lot of us are helping each other out, being a container, kind of like this circle has been a container. And so whether we have it officially or whether we have it through the Dragon Thunder Summit, I feel more containers are being built that we either feel like this being us together, that we feel us humans are getting together, or that the dragons and other elementals are coming. So for me, I think a big keyword that, thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Denise. So yeah.
I think you dropped out, unless it was my internet, when you said big keyword, and then was there a big keyword that you said?
Sacred container.
Yeah, feeling that. Thank you. And they all sound really exciting. Kevin, over to you.
Dragon Thunder Summit 2025. That's the big thing that's taken all my time at the moment. I can't think about anything else. And if you want to grab a ticket, it's only £15 for 36 amazing speakers. So we do Dragon Talks, so that's like a year and a half of Dragon Talks. So yeah, it's www Dragon Thunder 2025, all as one word.com, and that'll take you through to the page with all of the speakers, all 36 of them, all their information, all their links, all their gifts, all their bios, everything you'd ever want to know about them, information about what they're going to be talking about, schedules, so that you can figure out, when am I watching it? Am I watching it in American time or Australian time, or European time. And just to remind people that are in America and Canada, it will be Saturday afternoon, evening for you, so you can watch the Australian people. They're not all Australians; they're just working under the Australian time, and then you'll probably be asleep for the UK Europe bit, and then you can wake up and you'll be able to see all of the stuff that's going on under Pacific time. And if you're one of those brave people that's going to put matchsticks, then you can watch the whole thing. And of course, there's replays afterwards that will be shared throughout the world, so everyone can catch up. And there's still people catching up on 2023s and 2024s, and you'll have access to all of those, so you can binge watch all these amazing people talking about dragons, and it's an amazing series. And I suspect Netflix will buy it off us soon. I put it out there. But yeah, come and see us. It will be absolutely amazing, and it's open, and you get a chance to speak to the speakers and ask them questions directly. There's time for each of that, so it's interactive, and everyone will be on video if you want to be on video. So get your makeup and your hair done. I'm going to put some lippy on myself, and maybe even get a shirt out. And if you don't want to be on video, you can just hide like you can if you want. That's fine. But yeah, hopefully see everyone there.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And I think what I'll be sharing for most of mine will be some kind of process, some kind of, meditation process, similar to with light language, and quite possibly with sound as well. So, yeah, and it might be slightly prepared, or it might just be coming through as it comes through on the day. we will see what is wanted. And I've done 2 Lemurian dragon calls, and never feels complete if I just do 2. So I kind of knew there was a third wanting to drop in, and I've only got the seeds of that recently, but it's to do with the heart and the nervous system, and it's something to do with, because the nervous system is very much controlled by the brain at the moment, and it feels like this is very much connecting, having the heart as the master controller more than the brain. So it feels like it's linked to that. So if that is of interest to you, let me know, and I'll put you on the mailing list, so that when I've done that and when it comes out, you will be notified of that.
I'm interested. Also, they recently found, you'll know this better than me, Denise, a big neuron or a clump of neurons in the heart. So, that was a surprise for scientists.
400,000 sensory neurites, I think they're called, in the heart. So yeah, it's a little brain that's in the heart.
Yeah.
And the heart is a spiral. That's fairly recent knowledge.
Oh yeah, where did I see that?
Yeah.
If that it's so you can so if when they open up the heart muscle, it's a spiral. I saw that.
Yeah. Which is really interesting because of the
so it creates the magnetic field.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good stuff.
Okay, so thank you to you two. Is that, before I close, is there anything else that you want to say before I close?
Can't wait till Sunday.
Thank you for holding space.
Thank you, Denise.
My pleasure. So yeah, thank you to both of you. Hopefully we will see lots of people at the Dragon Summit on Sunday. And thank you to everybody who's been with us, who has watched this either live with us or on the replay. And yeah, let's just bring our awareness to our hearts again, and feeling our energy in our heart space for at least the rest of today, and maybe the whole week. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We will see you on Sunday, and if not then soon.